My EDC changes quite a bit when I'm traveling, and because I spend the first half of every year abroad for work, in this video, I'll be comparing my hometown EDC with my travel EDC, what I add, what I remove, and most importantly, why. Starting with my hometown kit, kicking things off with the wallet. Because Toronto is pretty much cashless for the past few years, I've used the Belroy card sleeve. My goal with my everyday carry is to minimize pocket bulk as much as possible, and I have yet to find another wallet that stores the 7 cards I need, as well as a bit of emergency cash at such a slim profile. As you can see, the supple leather is well worn after all these years, and I have zero intention of changing wallets anytime soon. Next, which is in pretty much everyone's everyday carry, is my phone. At the time of recording this video, I'm still using the 4-year-old iPhone 13 in green, but the phone isn't what matters, the case does. Or rather, when I'm here in Toronto, the case is inconsequential, but since I need a case anyways, I keep the one I absolutely need for travel on here 365 days a year, and of course, we'll get to the why when we get to the travel EDC section. As almost a companion piece, because I use an iPhone, AirPods Pro are always with me because I spend so much time on phone and client Zoom calls throughout my workdays. Onto my hometown keys, and keeping with minimizing pocket bulk, I like keeping my car keys and my home/workshop keys separate. But what you probably care about more are the actual key solutions, since keys typically have 2 components, an anchor like a ring, and a charm for ease of identification and grabbing. I now use the G series by Night Eyes for both sets of hometown keys, where there are 2 gates to pass through for security and for leaving the first gate empty to easily hang onto my entryway pegboard hooks. The charms on both sets of keys also double up with some functionality, with the home and workshop keys having the Victorinox classic colors in camo, small blade, small scissors, small flathead and file combo, and the tweezers and toothpick. On the car keys, it's the super compact Olight iMini 2 with just one output of 50 lumens without even a power button. Pull out to turn on and use, and snap back into its strong magnetic base to turn off, and to amplify ease of use, as you can see, the keyring hole is the USB charger as well. Now moving on this speed run, with my real job at the metal fab shop, a robust pocket knife is a must-have. And if you've been with me for a bit, you know that like my wallet for the past 3+ years, it's been this, the Benchmade M4 bailout. A bit weathered, obviously, but with the trade-off of M4 being prone to corrosion in exchange for superior toughness and hardness, has and continues to incentivize me to maintain, clean, and keep the blade oiled, and just like my wallet, I have no intentions of changing my daily workhorse blade in the work knife department. Next up are my main money earners, my notebook and pens. I've talked about these so much already on the channel, but for anyone who's new, it's the now, holy crap, just over 7-year-old Traveler's Company notebook in this camel leather colorway, combined with these 2 Lamy Safari fountain pens attached to the notebook with this dual pen clip by the Superior Labor. Discovery meetings, process design, these are the tasks that actually enable money to come into the business in the first place. And both of my most frequent types of page executions are both faster and more intuitive than typing them out. Now, as a watch lover, here at home in Toronto, I just let my mood guide me, but I'll say that most of the time it switches between the Explorer 1, the A168W, and this Alpinist, and that right there is the biggest difference between my hometown and travel EDCs. Storage, or rather, the sheer abundance of choice because of storage on home turf. I mean, as an absolute flashlight nut who also needs a robust flashlight at work, I EDC the iMini 2 because I have a home, a car, and a workshop. There's a buffet of flashlights at the workshop, especially those that also have a UV output, since that's what we use to check the integrity of welds. And in the glove box of my car, I keep a Baton 4 Premium because it has a recharging case. While when I travel, I don't have a permanent home with lots of storage space nor a permanent workspace, and certainly don't own a car in every single city I visit. So as you'll soon see, I have to be much more selective and thoughtful with my travel EDC. However, one thing that remains the exact same in both my travel and hometown everyday carries, especially since this notebook is critical for me and can't be pocketed, is my Sling. And whether at home or abroad, I use this one from the segment sponsor, TomTalk. And this is one of those rare times where a sponsored segment provides value regardless of whether or not you consider them. This is their T33 Aviator lineup of slings, available in 3 sizes and 3 versatile colorways. On the durability and security front, their use of a tremendously tear and water-resistant ripstop nylon, combined with their complete RFID blocking liners and not skimping on the highest quality YKK zippers, all give me the confidence that they'll easily last a decade of daily use. 3 zipper compartments, where there's the rapid access one on the front, the central main compartment for general storage, and most importantly, that 3rd slightly recessed one against the back, especially for travel to store our most important and valuable things like our passport and cash. Right up against the body and hidden from view for a tiny bit of extra security, and with a strong anchor point on either side means I can attach 2 S-beaners to clip my water bottle and hat for rapid access, and without the fear of leaking or sweat getting into the sling. This is why really longtime viewers know that I've been buying and using TomTalk slings since this channel had less than 2,000 2,000 subscribers. And if you're curious, I personally use the largest 3.5-liter capacity one in gray. But no matter which size or color works for you, you can find a T33 linked down in the description below. Thank you so much to TomTalk for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now the biggest contrast, where storage and abundance of choice enables a very carefree hometown loadout. For my travel EDC, it's balancing my desire of still minimizing weight and pocket bulk with versatility and protecting my single points of failure. And starting with the wallet, since last year, I started using the Apex Note Sleeve by Bellroy. Unlike my hometown wallet, most of the countries I ping-pong between in the first half of every year are still quite cash-heavy. Because of this, a dedicated cash sleeve is necessary, but also because I don't own a car abroad, local transit cards are frequently accessed. So with this wallet, with 2 fast access card sleeves means the same most frequently used card, my business credit card, goes in one, and the local transit card of the city I'm currently in goes in the other. In keeping with that one prism of protecting against my own clumsiness and potential loss is this formed leather shell with magnetic closure. Just a tiny extra failsafe to make it so much harder for anything inside to accidentally slip out. Onto the phone, it is of course still my iPhone 13 as well as my AirPods Pro, but that peak design case, which doesn't really matter to me when I'm on home turf, because I don't own a car abroad, I very frequently either rent a scooter or use a local bike share, and the peak design quick release handlebar mount is still the best solution I've personally found. A silicone strap to easily and securely mount onto any diameter handlebars I've come across, and this double lock attachment where not only is there a strong magnetic adhesion, but also these clips that lock into the recessed square onto the back of the case. Speaking of my phone, one extra thing that is guaranteed to be a part of my travel EDC is my Nightcore NB10K power bank. You see, at home, more than 90% of my time is spent between my apartment, the metal fab shop, and my car to travel between the two, and there are chargers at all 3 of those places. When traveling, however, especially when using navigation, my phone battery can drain so much faster, and this super slim power bank that still has 10,000 milliamp hours has, and will continue to be my lightweight backup juice after more than 3 years. Onwards to keys, I of course don't have any permanent keys during my 6 months abroad each year, but whether it's a rented scooter or Airbnb entrance, keys are still sometimes needed. For that, my travel flashlight, the Nightcore T4K, also serves as my keychain. It ships with a carabiner, so any temporary keys I get can easily clip in and out. Beyond that, however, is this very secure quick release, so it's easy to detach and reattach when I need to use the flashlight. You can see by the edges just how long I've used this for, but unlike here in Toronto where I have countless flashlight options and storage in my car and workshop, this has been the best do-it-all torch for travel for me. Compact enough to serve as a keychain, while simultaneously with 4 sustained outputs. From a 1 lumen moonlight mode, 15 lumen low mode, 65 lumen medium mode, and 200 lumen high setting, as well as an absurd temporary turbo burst of 4,000 lumens. There's not a single use case this T4K cannot handle. Beyond that, this status screen lets me see exactly how much illumination I have left at any output, and with USB Type-C charging, means I don't have to pack an extra proprietary cable. Finally, with a beam up clip also means that I can attach it to the brim of my cap for hands-free illumination, and as a headlight for added safety when using local bike shares at night. Now let's talk pocket knife, since some key knife folks have seen me with a Swiss Army knife in my Instagram stories while abroad and got confused, because I'm primarily a carry-on only traveler and knives are not allowed on airplanes. Enter travel caching. You see, because I travel to the same cities for work every year, I also always stay at the same hotels. And to incentivize me to keep staying with them every time I visit, hotels let me store a small bin of personal items, including a Swiss Army knife, year-round. Again, unfortunately, most folks who travel primarily for vacation probably won't have this option, but it's a nice perk if you're a frequent traveler to the same destinations. Quickly hopping into the travel hub page of my Notion, you can see all the places I have a cache, and jumping into Jakarta, the small bin at the hotel I always stay at has swim shorts and slides for the hotel pool, a reusable grocery bag, some toiletries, and a Victorinox Fieldmaster just like this one. And as a childhood Boy Scout, a multi-tool is just something I'm used to having access to. The Fieldmaster or Huntsman are the best in my opinion, balancing usefulness per cubic inch without being overly bulky in pocket, with the only difference between the two being that the Fieldmaster has a Phillips screwdriver while the Huntsman has a wine cork tool. All other tools are identical, and like everything else in this video, you can find them linked down in the description in case you want to research them more for yourself. My pens and notebook remain the same, equally important abroad as at home because of the sheer quantity of in-person meetings I have. But folks have asked how I prevent leaking from these fountain pens when I fly, and I don't know if I'm just shockingly lucky, but I have literally never experienced a cabin pressure leak in my life. That said, when I'm on a plane, I do store them in a Ziploc bag just in case, but again, it's literally never happened to me before. Perhaps the biggest and most important difference between my hometown and travel EDCs is of course my passport wallet. This is the biggest single point of failure for all travelers since no government will issue anyone more than one passport at a time. The flight fold lets me store my passport, a travel journal, an AirTag, all the local transit cards of the countries I visit most, and although I visit the same few countries and withdrawing cash from ATMs with my Canadian debit card is easy, I still prefer always having some backup emergency cash, which I separate and store in the extra large sleeves, which incidentally also accommodate my boarding passes on flight days. But again, with the passport being the single point of failure when loading out my Sling, that goes into the rear recessed zippered pocket. My notebook, pens, power bank with short charging cable, flashlight, keychain, and any other random stuff like snacks or tissues go into the main compartment. And although my phone and wallet typically go into each of my front pant pockets, if I want, these more frequently accessed items along with my earbuds can all fit comfortably into the front rapid access pocket. As for my wristwatch, when I'm traveling, 90+% of the time, it'll be the Seiko Alpinist GMT. It's super durable with 200 meters of water resist. It's a Seiko, so it doesn't scream for unwanted attention. And of course, when traveling, it's nice to have the GMT hand to keep track of home time and local time. But look, my travel habits and needs are likely at least a little, if not very different from yours. So as usual, please don't make knee-jerk purchases without considering how you spend your time abroad. However, this video has been focused on my core everyday carry, but to see long-term packing with work as well as tech considerations, you will definitely want to watch this video right over here. If you're feeling lucky though, this video down here is the one for you. I'll leave them both on screen for a few seconds so you can choose which one to watch next, but while you're deciding, consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you'll be notified the moment new videos just like this one drops.